month's Champion Chat podcast. And as always, we are joined by the lovely Alison Champion.
Oh, thank you very much, Carl. Happy to be here. How great is today? Look at the sun. Isn't it awesome?
Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. And as Alison has pointed out, we are outside because we're here today to have a look at the brand new Weir Street precinct upgrade. And Alison, it must be a bit exciting. It's been a 3-year journey to get here.
Easily. The first consultation was in February 2020. And I distinctly remember that day. It was a beautiful weekend in Feb 2020. And up there in the old design pocket park was our community set up. So our urban planners were there setting up, getting feedback from our community about what they'd like to see. So we were due for a refurbishment. We had some funding from the state government. What would you like to see here? So I remember that was the whole weekend. There were several consultations around that time to get feedback from community. So so February 2020 was the start.
Okay, so obviously the main driver behind the design, a refresh of the precinct, let's bring it back to life and look at the future.
Yes, and make it more user-friendly, if that's the right expression, more user-friendly for the many people who live here and their needs.
Wonderful. All right, well look, it's very exciting to see it, so let's take a walk, shall we?
We could take a walk, yeah. Where are we off to first?
I think we'll go and have a look at the new reserve.
Let's do that. All
Thank
right.
you, come and join us.
So this is our newest store. So this is our new owners.
The new tobacco store.
Yeah, American candy store. So there's lots of, quite literally, American candy. Lots of lollies, candy, and obviously they sell cigarettes as well.
Well, if that doesn't get the children here, nothing will.
And you know what, funny that, it does. And the kids are there with their parents and they really enjoy looking through the store. There's some fantastic things in there.
Fantastic. All right, well, here we are at the reserve. Alison, I think what we'll do is we'll start here and you can take us through each part of the reserve.
Okay.
And what we've actually built here.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this beautiful tree. This beautiful tree right here is a feature that had to remain.
Right.
Okay, so we're looking after this tree. Now, one thing that was
why did it have to remain, Alison?
It had to remain because it is such a feature of the street and the park. It provides so much shade. It provides home for our native animals. And it's just so well established, and it really is a natural landmark for this part of the street. What I might focus on too also, so you can see we've asphalted around the bottom of the tree. And a real concern for people has been, if we come over here a little bit and we look down here, a real concern for people has been the asphalt going right up to the tree, the base of the tree. Okay. And it does look really disconcerting, even for me.
Well, I think if we get our cameraman just to have a bit of a look at that.
Have a look at the bottom of the tree. Okay. So it is a little bit frightening. And I also asked the question, what are we doing? And this asphalt is permeable. So all of this black asphalt through here is actually permeable, so it allows for the water to still seep through and make its way to the roots.
Okay, so in other words, the tree is not going to be lacking anything as far as water, light, etc. The asphalt itself's not going to have any chemical reaction to it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, that was a real concern. There are people in the community who know that. They know this product, they understand this product, and they've expressed their understanding of this product along with our officers. So our officers have done some research, and they've come up with this based on the information in order to come to a happy medium.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something there.
And would this be made out of recyclable material, would it?
Okay, I would have to check that. Yeah, I would have to check that. We are on the way to doing that, by the way. There is a street in Watsonia that was laid about 3 years ago that is, it is asphalt and it is recycled glass.
Right.
Yeah, so we are on the way for that, in a lot of our areas. But I would have to specifically double check this, and I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and have a look through the reserve, shall we?
Okay. before we go through, we've got this beautiful bench. Now this bench has been refurbished. So this bench, we've kept the rear of it, and we've modified the original slats that you sit on. So we've made it a more modern version of the bench that was there. Now most people would remember that as a green bench. It was wood painted green here at this space, and that plaque has just simply been taken off the old bench. The wood has been refurbished, and then the plaque has been put back on. So that commemorates the old Shire of Eltham, and as we converted in 1994 to Banyule, that's just a memorial. And one of our residents here, one of our lovely residents, acknowledged that one of her family members was associated with this bench. So I've just asked, look, officers, can we please rejuvenate this and return it for use? So it's got a lot more use out of it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
that's a very, very special piece. Coming up through here, so that you can see you can get to the pocket park two ways. Either in a ramp that's in line with the rest of the footpath,
Yes.
okay, or via stairs. So originally, when the pocket park was built, you could only get up via stairs.
Right.
Now we're looking at, well, how more accessible can we make it? So we're about accessibility.
Yep.
A lot of councils are and governments are about accessibility. How do we create a space for everyone to use? Hence the input. We wanted the input from community. How do we make this accessible? So now we've got two ways. We've got a ramp and we've got the stairs. So we're coming up, and they're safety stairs. So they've got the bobbly rubber
Stop people
to
from
stop people slipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So then we come up here, and this is another feature of the original pocket park. So we've got the beautiful big stone with the mosaics. Now, the footpath mosaics, which represent Montmorency, a lot of feedback from people was, what are you doing with those? Don't get rid of those. We need those. We have to keep those. They represent. So they have been used and they have been put back in place. Okay, so we'll find those. So we've kept that stone with that plaque and pop that over here.
And the plaque just shows the location of all the mosaics that used to exist and where they are now.
Yeah, which you can see. So and what they are and the reason for them. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
So here we go. We come up here. We've got big open space. So you can either sit here. You can can walk through here. You can be entertained. So we've got So this replaces the makeshift stage, which was actually the side of the toilet block.
Right.
So we've got a proper stage that has been designed.
So it's become more of a sound shower.
Yeah, yep. And then we have one of our beautiful artists has just finished painting this. This was created. So we opened the Pocket Park on the 15th of September. So this was obviously completed by that day. And Ulla was sitting here and she was just painting away, and you could come up and have a chat with her and say hello and whatever else you wanted to chat with her about. And she was happy to have a chat, but she was very zoned in on this artwork and creating her artwork.
And do you think that this park might be used to run, say, council functions over holiday periods, etc.?
Yep.
You've got the stage, you've got the open area.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and anyone else who wants to use the space. So we find, so we do have musical groups, solo artists who have an opportunity to come here and use this space.
Okay, and the space is powered?
There is power here, yeah. So if you come around here, you can have a look. So we'll look over here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So when we opened up, we did have microphones that were joined around here. Yep. And you can see as we walk through, we're walking through newly laid garden beds, newly planted garden beds. There we go.
Yep.
Electricity meter there. So we've got electricity to the site. We've got our beautiful garden beds actually planted. They've been planted now, and Michael and Shane did that, as they do.
Michael and Shane
from council.
I see.
So Michael and Shane did this work, and at the opening day, Michael was present, and a lot of people actually know Michael, just from watching him work in the area. Yeah. So they come up and they'll have a chat with him. So a lot of people know Michael. Okay. Yeah. And he's happy to share his knowledge with you, with anyone who wants to ask.
And as we walk through, obviously we have rear access.
Yep, so this is a key thing too. So just before we get to the rear access, we have our brand new toilets.
Yes.
Do you know how many emails and phone calls I got about the old toilets?
If they're like many public toilets, I'm sure you got many.
Got many. So that was an ongoing thing. Now, this might sound unusual, but council has just updated in the last council meeting its toilet strategy. So 5 years ago, we were in conversation about the last toilet strategy. So that was 2018 to 2028. We've revisited that now. And what I loved in the 2018 toilet strategy was the toilets in this pocket park were actually rated the worst in Banyule. And that's
not a good thing.
No, it actually is, because it means it hits the top of the list.
Right.
For rejuvenation, refurbishment, renovation, rebuild, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, it happened to be that the state government put in funding. So there's funding for, they approached local councils, funding for...
Let's walk through.
Funding for a pocket park.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you as a council have in ready to go? You've got plans all set up, or you're ready to go, you've got a place there, you want to put a pocket park. This was one of them.
Right.
So this is how the state government became involved, and we're a collaborative association with them to get the toilets completely rebuilt. They're completely brand new and rebuilt. But also...
and all unisex toilets and...
and the pocket park as well. So this is where it's a whole big project. So here we've got unisex toilet, so, any gender, baby change, and wheelchair accessible. We've got an ambulant toilet, again, unisex, so any gender. Coming here, right-hand side, so the other was left-hand side, this is right-hand side, and then there's a service area in here.
Okay.
So we have a variety. Okay, so that's what we have. So then we come through to the access at the back. We've got bins, we've got more plantings. Okay, more plantings through here. So we can see one thing that was really upsetting for people. Towards the back here was actually a beautiful established tree, native tree. And, one of the questions was, oh God, you're not getting rid of that tree, are you? It was, yes, we're really sorry, we are. I'm sorry. However, what we've planted in their place, we've got two other trees here, native trees, actually
yes.
three,
Yep.
that have planted in their place. So they will eventually grow up and form a beautiful
shaded
area for people coming to sit here. Yeah. So that will be exciting. We've got open times for the toilets too, just a heads up. Okay, so any inquiries, or if you see any problems, just give us a call at council, we'll sort that.
Okay.
So now we've got new proper parking spaces through here. So we've got 2 standard parking spaces here, we have a 3rd standard parking space there, and we have a disabled parking space. Now, one thing that you can see, this is a really big space.
Yes.
Okay, so this actually is virtually two spaces. Right, this is standard disability access car parking now. Okay, we've got one space that suits the car or the vehicle itself, and then we have another space beside it for safe access for something large like a wheelchair. Yep, walker, yep.
And that's probably something I've noticed with a lot of the design of Weir Street is the disabled access has been greatly improved.
Yeah.
With safety being a real priority here, including the road crossings.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, which we'll go through shortly. But you're absolutely right. That was a key feature. And you know what? It's not. You don't even have to have a registered disability to appreciate that change. Yep. For someone like myself, and who's ageing, you just want a flat path that you can walk on and not trip over. So there's that, right to that. And we have a lot of ageing community members here. So we have a lot of residents here who've been here for 50, 60 years and they love it, and they've seen an enormous number of changes. And some they like, some they don't. And then we also have new people coming through. When I say new, they're people who maybe grew up here, moved away, and as adults they're coming back to the area. Or we have people from different parts of Melbourne or Australia coming into this area. They're hearing all about how great it is, how leafy, how spacious, etc. So we've got a variety of ages in this community, and we're trying to accommodate all their needs. Yep. So we've just walked through. You'll see prams, people like prams, children, toddlers. We see people with walking sticks, in wheelchairs, walkers, people like myself who look pretty fit and healthy and well, and I am. But I have to be careful about where I walk. Yep. So I don't trip over, cause myself an injury. So there's a variety of needs are being met here. And so the other thing too that I actually want to mention as well, which is a contentious conversation, we have a large street light here. Now these are the smart lights, or smart street smart lights. These are becoming more common when when an area is being refurbished or generated.
Solar based.
They're solar based, and they obviously come on in the dark or in twilight, and they're also able to see what's going on underneath them.
Right.
Okay, now the anxiety comes from people thinking they're being watched.
Yep.
And that information, example their car, their registration, is going to be used by either local government or federal government or state government for something else.
Yep.
That's not the case. Now, we had our concerns as well as councillors. We brought that up in our meetings and our briefings with officers, and we said, talk to us about this. This is what our community is concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is local government doesn't care what car you drive. It doesn't care whether you've paid your registration or not. All right, it doesn't care. What it does care about is safety.
Yep.
So the lights come on, they're solar generated, the lights come on, they come on for our safety, and that is it. That's why we've got, the cameras in there. All right, so...
If there was one thing with the design that you wish you could have done more with, or one part that you feel would have been better to have added, what do you think that might have been, Alison?
Does that answer your question?
You're struggling to think of one. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
If you feel like you've covered every base, I mean, I can see there's plenty of parking. We've talked about the safety. Why don't we take a walk up to the main dining precinct and have a bit of a look at that, shall we?
Look at that. All right, let's come back this way. One thing that I will add as well while we're walking through here, throughout this whole project, the finished result, you can't see another really, really important key aspect of this whole renovation, because it's underground.
Drainage.
It's the drainage.
Right.
So our officers, our engineers, very aware the drainage was very outdated and needed a complete overhaul. So over the time that this project was being completed, people would have seen really big drain tubes, if you like, certainly down towards the bottom of the street here, down towards the T intersection.
Yes.
Yep, so the drainage has been upgraded, changed, improved to allow water to actually stay on the ground and then in the drains.
Yep.
Okay, so that was a really key thing that had to be changed. All right, coming up here. Okay, so the Weir Street food store, which is an icon really in this street. So we've got the Weir Street food store. This was rebuilt so it is actually flat. So everybody knows that the tables go out the front. A lot of people sit here, they come here regularly. They've been coming here for years. So what we've done is we've actually made this a lot safer by making this platform flat so it's not sloping down the street. And also you can see that the awning has been reconstructed.
Extended.
Yep, and the pipe actually takes the water from the roof down into the waterways.
Yep.
Rather
Fantastic.
than being in the street. Okay. Another example of a
Disabled parking.
car park space. Okay, so to be clear with the car parking spaces, that was a key thing that people are asking. Wait a minute, you've gotten rid of 4 car parking spaces. Why are you doing that? You already can't get a park in Weir Street. Why would you do that? There are a lot of older people in this community who are asking us for more car parking spaces.
Right.
And people are ageing and we're alive for a lot longer. So we've taken that into account and we've added disabled car parking spaces through the whole street in strategic places. So there's another one across the road there, opposite Common Sense, right next door to the raised crossing.
Yep. So they get out, they're safe, they get to come across a safe crossing if they need to get across the road.
Yep. Now another thing too with these 2 raised crossings, so there are 2 of them, they have been enlarged, which has meant that we have had to remove a car parking space on each, at each end.
Yes.
So there are 2 things here. It's distinctive and it is raised. It is raised because we want to ensure drivers slow right down.
Yep.
We're in a predominantly pedestrian used space.
Yes.
Not a car space. So we're becoming a lot more pedestrian friendly. Those who are not in a car can actually feel a lot safer here.
Yep.
All right, that's
Okay.
the whole point of it. So we've got the raised crossing to really slow traffic down. We've got raised crossings that are very close to the areas that those who need the larger car parking spaces can get out.
Yep.
Opposite the Terry White Chemist, further down the end, there's always been a disabled car parking space. Well, not always, but for many, many years.
Yes.
There's been a disabled car parking space. We've renewed that. And it is 2 car parking spaces. It takes up 2 car parking spaces in order for those with a disability
But I'm
access
pretty sure if
needed.
you go to any chemist around the area, they've all got a disabled parking
Oh, of course they
place
do.
around.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course they do. But the other thing too is, you know what, for those of you who are frustrated with the additional disabled car parking spaces, have a conversation with some of the older residents. Because they've all said to me, Alison, can you put more in? Alison, we need more disabled car parking spaces. You should have put more of those in. Oh, there you go. That answers your question.
So if you could have put more in,
Yeah, if I
but
could
you
put
only
more
have a
in.
finite amount of space.
I have a finite... That's the point.
Yes.
That is exactly the point. We have a finite amount of space and we need to make it accessible for as many people as possible and usable and user-friendly. So that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about this area of the precinct here. I used to live in Montmorency in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And I remember coming up to this area. It wasn't exactly user-friendly dining
Okay.
back then.
Okay. Tell me what it was like.
Cramped. I guess the words al fresco didn't really cross people's minds back then. It was you ate inside or you took it home.
Yeah, okay. And even before then, you didn't come out to eat, you ate inside. You ate at home, didn't
Pretty
you?
much, yes.
Yeah, it was a very different mentality. So, okay. So now we have an open space. It is very common now to dine outside. We're very used to it. Part of our lifestyle. And we've improved the space here. Actually, while we're standing here, I'm just looking at the mosaics. So we talked about the mosaics.
We did
a few
talk about
minutes
the
ago.
mosaics,
Okay,
yes.
well, here are some examples of the mosaics. All right, so we've got 3 of the mosaics are here. Okay, so they have been replaced and returned to space that people can see them. We have replanted some trees, we have maintained some trees, we have improved and increased the garden space around. We've added some chairs, we've put in some more bins. Again, re-asphalted just to make sure it's all even. So while there is a little bit of a slope, you can still see a slope. We've made it as flat as possible and even as possible, so we're not tripping up, okay? So coming up through here, we've got a retaining wall. So this retaining wall has assisted with the flat areas. So we've got a flat space here.
Yes.
We've got steps. You can always go around and use the ramp. Quite frankly, it's a ramp. It's a footpath ramp.
Yep.
Again, we've got the safety aspect of the plastic bobbles there to not fall through. We've had comments about the grate, the
Safety barrier.
safety barrier here, which is actually a place where people can actually stand rather
Yes.
than sit.
Right.
So some people want to stand, and you can actually stand there and lean on that and still be in a conversation with someone while you're outside the Grape and Hop having a beer. Okay. What has been really, really good with both Max's Burgers and the Grape and Hop, they've actually, in really busy events, when we have our busy events here, what they've actually done is they've connected together. And if you know, Max's is full and overflowing and people can't get a seat,
Yep.
if people are in the Grape and Hop and they want to eat something, they actually work it together so that the order can be made. You can be in the Grape and Hop and you can grab, you know, a waiter comes out with a meal and you actually eat here.
Which is fine because then I get something to drink as well.
That's right, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a beautiful example of collaboration in the street.
Well, that's 2 smart business owners.
Yeah, they're 2 very smart business owners, yeah, and they do very well, and that is why, yeah. Okay, so we can see we've got a flat level here. Actually, if we walk up the stairs, we can see how flat it is here. Okay, and look, chairs and tables do come out. You know, when they're open, we can see under the umbrellas here.
Now, were these umbrellas provided by the council, or has this been provided by the business owners?
My understanding is that these already are owned by the business, but this was put in. So your barrier was put in.
Yes.
These mosaic, this space here.
Yes.
All right. This has been reinstated. So you can sit here if you like. Perfectly possible to sit here. This has been modified slightly, so what's happened, I say modified slightly, you can see where the road used to come through, so this used to be the curb through here. What's happened now is we've pushed the curb right out, so we get that car parking space there that's protected. Put in garden beds through here, and we've really narrowed this space, so even across there with the curb and guttering, I say curb and guttering because that's what I've been calling it my whole life, but you know, the channel, the curb and channel and the drainage there, all of that's been pulled this way a little bit and reinstated. You can see the paving through there with the seating in addition to the mosaic benches there. And that's been narrowed, just this space has been narrowed quite a bit. So we're standing in what was the road.
Yes.
Yeah, the roadway. Okay, so it's been narrowed. We also have put in pedestrian space through here. So what we've done is we've made the place, this area here, as you drive into it, you have to slow down. Okay, so you can see the curb has narrowed, this space has narrowed, the curb's been pushed out, we've put garden beds in, made it softer with that, as well as the variegated paving. You have to slow down as you come here. You cannot do a U-turn here anymore. Don't even try. So that was actually one of my bugbears, and for years I certainly would approach officers about this. We need to prevent people from doing U-turns. So I was part of almost in an accident when I was 7 months pregnant with Nikki. Someone did a U-turn directly here in front of me, you know, pulled up their brakes here, did a U-turn here, and I had to slam my brakes on coming in behind them. Just dangerous, very, very dangerous. So that, and I've just used to watch people do U-turns through here. It was one of the most dangerous intersections I'm aware of in the area. So finally, with the upgrade, you know, my request, and others as well, requesting this pedestrian assistance to go in, or treatment, it's called a traffic treatment to go in, has finally come to fruition. Now, we don't have an official pedestrian crossing here. Okay, because it's too close to the intersection. But we know people walk here. People always walk across here, always. And if we've narrowed the curb to make the road shorter, they're going to continue to cross here. It looks like we're encouraging them to cross here.
And with the island in the middle, of course, that's going to make everybody realise that, you know, this is a crossing area.
This is a crossing area. So it's an unofficial crossing. And we've just watched and listened to the community use that space. So now, you can cross there. It is safer to cross there. While it's an unofficial space, we're addressing the fact that that is used as a pedestrian access. And again, another thing that slows people down. So this car here has slowed right down to come through. You can't go fast. You'll have an accident, quite frankly, you know. So coming through here, this has been replanted, replanted out. It's been tidied up a lot over the last few months. I know it was a little bit of a mess during the project. It's now been tidied up. It's been replanted out. This also has been planted out through here. Coming up, we've got some extra benches here if people just want to stop and rest. And if we come up through to the barrier just here, now, we used to have sort of a cyclone fencing barrier here, something that was less artistic than this. And what was growing there was a vine. So we had some kind of vine that was growing over the top. Now, we had pedestrians trying to cross here, and drivers would come through and you couldn't see the pedestrians.
Because of the vines on the...
Yeah, especially little people. We're outside of school, especially, you know, children. Couldn't see them. So while there has been a pedestrian crossing here for a while, people would still probably not slow down as much. So now we've made it, and the request obviously went through for residents as well as for myself. Can we please make this space, we can keep it planted out, but let's make it a little bit safer so we can see. We can still see each other through the planting. So they've done that too. Another thing that's not part of the project, but was something that Montmorency Primary School Council came to us with quite a few years ago, was making this crossing safer for them. Okay, so this isn't part of the project, but it's their initiative, and through over time, you know, good collaboration with council, we've gotten to a point where we have at this crossing a raised crossing, so the drivers have to slow down. We have, again, the rubber bobble matting, so it's clear that you're coming close to an intersection. We have drainage through here. We also have the flashing lights, which show people that they're coming to a pedestrian crossing.
Yep.
And we've got the crossing signs as well. So they've fairly recently been put in. So that's lovely.
It's a fairly big warning for slow down, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I have had, when that raised crossing first went in a couple of years ago now, as you come around the corner, you know, there is a sign to say slow down to 40. But I remember a resident said, Alison, what are you doing? You've just put in a raised crossing. You don't have enough signage. I've just had to slam my brakes on and I've nearly damaged my car. And I've said, well, how fast are you going?
There's a question. I'm not going to ask the question. I'll let you say how fast that we're going.
It's a rhetorical question.
Exactly.
So the whole precinct now really is, as a driver, slow down.
Yep.
Please slow down. You will damage your car, let alone anything else that you can possibly do here, whether you drive through a garden bed, or whether you nearly hit a cyclist, or you nearly hit a pedestrian, or you nearly hit someone's dog. We are asking people to really slow down while they're here. Yeah, because its focus is more on pedestrian access.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, Alison, thank you for showing us the outside.
That's a
How do
pleasure.
you feel if we go and have a talk to some of the business owners today and see what they...
We can have a chat with some of them. Yeah, some of them are open today, so I'd love to have a little bit of a chat with them and see what we can hear their feedback about what it's been like for them living through this project.
Brilliant. All right.
Okay, beautiful.
Let's go. Alison,
Yes.
we're in here. We are
Hello.
here today with...
We're with Sam.
This is Sam. Sam from Monty Fish and Chips. How you going, Sam? Good to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you.
So, Sam, obviously, you now see that Weir Street's been completed. During the work, so how was it for you?
It definitely was a challenge, 100% for all of us here. But we got through it. I mean, it did provide a bit of extra work, especially with the construction workers and the tradies. We helped them out a lot along the way as well. So it was nice, and I feel like the community dealt with it pretty well. But yeah, it's been okay.
And now that it's actually completed, how do you feel it? Do you think it's bringing the area to life? It's going to, in summer, you're going to explode a little bit around here?
Definitely hope so. I feel like it's a lot better now, a bit more, less tense. Everyone's a bit more relaxed, especially us business owners around the area here. But I feel like it'll bring everyone back together, especially during summer. I think it's, for sure, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I reckon if we run a few Christmas festivals, we'll get a few people who want to come in for burgers.
It's always great. Yeah, every year we have like a Christmas thing going on, even for Halloween as well. It's always been really good like that. So it's a great community here, yeah.
Okay, so come Halloween in 4 weeks' time, I think it is. We can expect Monty Fish and Chips to have the glowing pumpkins and fish and chips for everybody.
Yeah, 100%.
Fantastic. All right, well, Sam, pleasure to meet you, mate.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Have a great day, mate.
Thanks so much, Sam. Take care, love. Bye.
Alison, so we're here with Sean. How are you, Sean?
Good, thank
From
you.
Monty Bakehouse. And Sean, you've been in this area for a long time.
Yep, nearly 20 years.
20 years running this bakehouse.
Almost, yes.
Wow, you must have seen a lot of changes in that time.
Yes.
And obviously, Weir Street, all the changes that have happened in the
Yep.
last 12 to 18 months.
Yep.
What's your views on that?
It's looking better,
Look at
cleaner.
Yep. Well, obviously, once we move the fences away and
Yep.
clean things up, so yeah.
Yep.
But
A lot of fresh faces coming.
yeah.
in.
Oh, excellent. Great.
Okay, beautiful. So has this improved business for you, or steady?
It's sort of steady. It hasn't, because all the living costs gone up,
Yes.
and hopefully it's going to be better.
Yeah.
But one of the good things, though, now it is done, I'm
Yes,
sure we can
yes.
start getting people back. A few
Yes,
festivals,
hopefully, yeah.
holidays, because
Yeah.
obviously the works would have had them not
Yeah.
coming here.
Yeah.
So we'll get them back in here, won't we?
Yeah, yes.
Maybe we'll talk to your local councillor and get her to run a special event from council. What do you think?
Yep, sounds
We
good.
can organise a special event. We
Yeah.
love our parties.
Yeah.
Well, I love our parties, so yes, there will be a
Absolutely.
special event. Yes.
Oh, well, Sean, look, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
good luck.
Yep, thank you
For
very much.
everything.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sean.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you, Sean.
Thank you
You
very
too.
much. Thank
Pleasure.
you.
So, Alison, we're here today. We're now outside Terry
White Kemart.
Kemart.
Here we are.
And we're with Sasha. Welcome, Sasha. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Good, I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Well, Sasha, obviously with the Weir Street upgrade now completed,
Yep.
how has it actually been for Terry White Kemart?
Once it's been completed, it's been pretty okay. The major issue was with the car parks. That was the major complaint because a lot of our customers have issue with mobility. So they really need the spaces near the store. So now that it's complete, not too many complaints.
But obviously during the build,
Yeah, it was
big
a
restrictions.
huge issue. I mean, there was a while where like this walkway was non-existent for a while. It was all gravel, and you can imagine if you can't walk steadily or if you're using any sort of mobility aid, that really limits what you're able to do. So yeah, that was the major issue while it was happening, is that just customers couldn't get a park close enough to be able to get here. A lot more deliveries, but that's all right. We're still doing that service, so that's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, now that it's up and running, not much has changed for us, I'd say, now that people know they can come back and get a spot. So yeah, it's been pretty okay.
And so you actually had to do a bit of an adapt and do deliveries because people couldn't come to you at this time?
We did deliveries beforehand, and we still do them now for locals, free of service. But we definitely had to do more because people had a lot of... they weren't very comfortable coming, knowing that if it was hard for them to get out of the house, they didn't want to leave without knowing there was a guarantee they would be able to actually access what they needed.
Right. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
And who were you? Did you get a chance to feel like you were communicating with council during that period?
I mean, I'm sure I could have sent a letter. I don't know what that would have done, but I didn't really do anything. I just kind of, put up with it, did the work, but didn't do
and
much.
maybe focused on your customers. Focused on your customers.
Yeah, that's
Best you
right.
could.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a local. I live 5 minutes down the road, so I mean, I just walked to work, came back. So for me, it wasn't a huge deal.
Right. Okay, fantastic. And now, how do you feel about the completed? Does it seem as though it's brightening the place up a bit?
Honestly,
Yeah,
not
please.
really. I'd say I've actually had a few customers complain about the slip issues of the new tiles. When they're wet, they get a lot more slippery for people that don't have great balance. So, yeah, I'd say apart from that, not much has changed for me. But yeah, I don't know. What can I say?
No,
I'm
that's
mostly in
actually
there
good
when
safety
I'm here.
feedback.
Yeah.
Because you can always get those sprays now, Alison, to
The
put
non-slip sprays.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that might... I'm happy to go back to our offices with that. And
Yeah.
So can we do that? Can we do something about that? With your car parking, you've probably noticed the car parking spaces are bigger for those disabled parkers.
Yeah. I've noticed that it's been blocked off, one of the extra parks, which is good for them, I guess. Yeah, there's still complaints about car parks, but that's just because West Street's very popular, so it's hard for everyone to come around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to
Anything
raise?
else? If you want a local pharmacy to support, we're under Terry White, but we still have independent owners. So Terry White kind of offers a lot more restrictions than they do freedom in terms of being a business. So we still love seeing a couple local friendly faces and getting to know regular customers. So come on down if you can.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Fantastic.
otherwise, if they can't, you'll be able to do some deliveries.
Yeah, that's right. Give us a call if you're in the neighbouring suburbs. We'll probably be able to do a delivery or two for you.
And what's the number?
The number, oh my goodness, Kate, do you have the number?
9435 1729.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
All right,
That's
well,
lovely.
Sasha, thank you very much for your
No
time
worries.
today.
Have a good
Cheers.
day.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Sasha.
you.